Shameless self-promotion shout out Saturday. I made this. This is the Halloween zine of the Seth's Gear and Ammo series that I've been working on with Grim Jim. Shadowdark compatible. This is my third of these zines. I really love this cover, Jim. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this cover. This is perfect for young Tag. Of course, it's Tag because she is my mascot. But yeah, and cute anime girls sell. So yeah, this is my Halloween issue of this series I did. I started with the first one, which is all skills and gear, though I need to revisit that one because I didn't make it clear that it was just an encyclopedia of all the skills. It wasn't a skill system per se. Then the second and third one was the back to school one. And this is the Halloween one. And then I have the Christmas one that I'm about to send to Grim. And then we'll see how popular this is if people want me to continue. It's going to be a zine. It's going to be my zine. And if other people want to contribute, great. It's probably going to be based around Project Black Flag or more likely Shadowdark because, you know, Shadowdark sells. And I'm a shameless shill. So let's take a look at the Seth's Gear and Ammo Halloween issue. What's on sale for Halloween at Seth's Gear and Ammo? And just love that catalog. And this one is now 100% more pumpkin spice. So we got my introduction. We've got my first one is undead. Talk about undead because you can't have a Halloween episode without talking about different kinds of undead. So this is all the undead that I've researched and done. Some of this appeared previously in the Wretched Beastry. Some of it's brand new stuff on just undead. So, and spooky things. Skeletons, zombies, ghouls. The ghouls from The Last of Us. Ghast, teleporting ghouls. The mummy, the lich, vampires, all the fun stuff. Wow, tiddlies. Thanks, Jim. Ghost, of course, undead warriors. We talk about possessed. I didn't talk, like possessed corpse, not the same as a zombie, but possessed corpse like Jason Voorhees, possessed doll like Chucky, possessed object like Rubber. You guys know about Rubber, the horror movie about the serial killer Tyre? Yeah, that's the thing. Then talk about ghoul fever, of course. Then we go into talking about the CDC and their zombie preparedness thing, which you guys know I absolutely love the CDC zombie preparedness guide. I think it's brilliant. So this one I go into the history of the zombie preparedness guide and where you can find it, and just I talk about it because it's just fun. Then we have pumpkin spice. So I talk about what is pumpkin spice and how pumpkin spice became a thing. And then we just have some gear. And of course, the joke is that all my gear is pumpkin spice and related to spookiness. And therefore, I can charge more for the gear because, as we know, if you make something pumpkin spice, it is therefore more expensive. For like a regular latte at Starbucks costs $3.50 plus tax, depending upon where you are. Pumpkin spice latte for the same size costs $7 at Starbucks. So yeah, all you have to do is say something's pumpkin spice and you can double the price. So we have some gear, Halloween gear. So I went and looked up all the supposed ghost hunting gear you could find, rating from the spirit boxes, the digital recorder, the thermal imagers, copper dowsing rods, all the things that the EMF radiation detector, all the things that are used by modern day paranormal research to research ghosts. So these I looked up, I researched them, I found out all the ones that are used and what are the big ones and how they're used, like the kinetic camera, paranormal music box, and then something as simple as bag of flour. And candles, and then of course we got to have the pumpkin spice, and we got some paranormal weapons like silver bullets, silver weapons, holy water, stuff like that. All the things you might want to use while you're fighting the undead. We talk about the vampire kits. I just did a video about the vampire kits and the werewolf hunting kits. And then I also had a list of stuff that the bad guys get to use, you know, because why should you get all the good stuff? The bad guys should be able to shop for things too, right? If there's going to be a vampire hunting kit, then there's got to be a human hunting kit, right? Then I give, of course, my warning about the paranormal. And then we talk about plagues, specifically the Last of Us plagues and what it's based upon. And you guys do know that the Last of Us, the thing in the Last of Us, that's a real thing, right? That is an actual fungus that exists. The zombie fungus does exist. The CDC says there's absolutely no charge for it to infect humans, unless, of course, it evolves. Then I talk about, you know, how people get progressively stupider in zombie apocalypses, and then I talk about why I think about that. And I talked about this the other day in one of my videos about maybe the virus is affecting our brains, and that's why people get progressively dumber. Talk about ghouls and Deus Ex Machina, or dice fudging, you know, where just somehow the undead just show up, and how to explain that in game terms. Talk about fear and how to build fear in the game. Talk about words that you can use to inspire emotions. Words like squirt, moist, heavy, bubbling. These are all things that can inspire spookiness. So I give some of those, and how to talk about like the music and why do they eat brains and why are we so fascinated with them. Then I have a section dedicated to Halloween candy. Anybody remember how in Appendix N in the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons DM's Guide, they had the list of plants and herbs that were reputed to have medicinal or magical properties, right? So I thought I'd do the same thing for candy. Now, obviously, we know that candy does not, in fact, give you any supernatural powers other than temporary energy hits, right? And that you should eat the Halloween candy in moderation. But so, yeah, I've got all the most popular. Number one most popular Halloween candy being Reese's. This is the order that they appeared on the list from most to least popular. And then, of course, we have the lesser known brands like, you know, stuff like that. So I've got all the candy listed from most to least popular during Halloween, and what I think they would, you know, what supernatural powers they give you. So this is basically the same as, like, you know, that list in the DM's Guide of if you eat mugwort, this happens or doesn't happen. So yeah, so I give you all sorts of cool things you could throw in for a Halloween adventure if you wanted to. And then we got even some of the lesser known brands like Peeps or Necco wafers. Shout out to Harmony Ginger. Necco wafers are still a thing. And then, of course, we got to talk about toothbrush and pencils. Now, I actually liked getting toothbrushes and pencils. Well, I liked getting pencils for my candy, but toothbrushes, yeah. And then, of course, we have my references and my disclaimer and all the other stuff. So this is the Halloween adventure catalog thingy. It's available on the various sites for like $3 if you want to support the OGGM. Links down below. This will be the second to last one for 2024. And if there's something people want to see me continue in 2025, that'll be cool. And if people have, you know, things they want to contribute to the zine, that would be even better. So yeah, I hope this to become a zine. That's what Jim and I had talked about, of this eventually transgressing from just tables and lists of gear and skills and equipment to more like a dungeon magazine where we have like maps and adventures and history and me talking about shit. So you'll notice that in the Christmas one, I get a lot more into like the history of Black Friday, the history of eggnog, which is weird. Elf on the Shelf. And then I have some other things like built around sort of making fun of like Big Friday sales and big deal electronics and stuff like that. So I think it's cool. It's fun for me to work on. Obviously, they're not the main projects. The Goblin Verse is the main projects, and the Wretched Verse is the main project. But I like doing these catalogs because they clear my mind, and they allow me to learn new things. Like I would never have known the very bizarre history of eggnog had I not looked it up, or the fact that the very bizarre history of pumpkin spice, or the fact that nobody actually really knows how pumpkin spice got started. It just sort of happened because. So it's very weird. So check it out if you'd like. Please do. I would greatly appreciate it.